country in the world, and it is worth fighting for. It is worth bleeding for, and if it takes it, it's worth dying for the greatest country that this world has ever seen.
Yeah, good morning, dear America family. Speaking of greatest country you've ever seen, look at this country out here behind me, man. I am out on the porch of the cabin in the wilderness of Texas, watching the sun come up. It is beautiful. You're going to watch this light go up and down, and audio's going to go in and out. But you know what? God bless Elon Musk and Starlink, because I'm out here just hanging in the woods with you guys. Good morning, dear American family. Chad Prather filling in for Graham Allen, hanging out with you guys. We got a big show in front of us. It is Tuesday morning. Hope you guys had a restful night's sleep, knowing that Donald Trump is the president of the United States, and we're taking America back, folks. I want you to throw those American flags into the chat. I want you to hit like. Let me see where we are. I'm gonna double check you guys here real quick. All right, you're at 165 likes on Rumble on the Dear America page. We need to blow that way above 1,000 today. Blow up that chat. Let me see you guys with the American flags. Let's blow it up. Let's get the adrenaline rushing. I'm going to throw a few of them in there till they block me. There he goes. I can't post anymore for a minute. All right, throw them in there. Make sure you're hitting like. Make sure you're hitting subscribe. You're sharing this thing. You're engaged in the chat. I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning. Have you guys ever thought about how amazing it is that you were ordained by God himself to have the opportunity, the privilege, the blessing, the promise, the amazing gift of being born in America, and not just in America, with so many great blessings, but to have the ability to be born here in this moment in time. Folks, we're in a historical moment. We really are. History's going to look back, and it's going to kind of scratch its head at the 21st century, at 2025. It's going to look back at us and go say, you know what? People were confused about their gender. They couldn't figure out who they were, where they were going in life, or what they were trying to do with themselves. But you know what? There were those who were on the right side of history. There were those who had common sense and critical thinking, and people who had some complexity of thought. People like you in the Dear America family, people who could see through the smoke and the darkness and could speak light and revelation and insight with wisdom into the crazy dark times in which we live. Folks, believe me, the pendulum swings, and when the pendulum swings back, you got to be ready for it. I want you to be ready. I want you to be prepared. I want you to be equipped, and part of that means exposing the darkness. Now, there's a lot of people out there right now that want to tell us that that maybe we shouldn't focus on the negativity or the insanity that's out there. And I say nay, my friend, I say nay. We need to expose every bit of it, ridicule it, mock it, make fun of it, let everybody know just how ludicrous the insanity really is. Because the only way we're ever going to open people's eyes and get them converted, yes, I say converted, over to the right way of thinking, is we got to show them how stupid and illogical the progressive left is right now. They are built on insanity. They're not built on any type of reason or logic. It's all about feelings. I said 25 years ago that the age of postmodernism is upon us, and people can't define postmodernism, and they want it that way because they want everything to be built on feelings and emotions. They want opinions to be stronger than facts, and they want the way I feel about something to be more important than truth. Folks, truth is what's got to win out. Absolute, abject, empirical truth, and we're here to give it to you today with the Dear America podcast. Folks, blow up the chat with those American flags. You, my friends, are on the right side of history. Look at this glorious sunrise right now. It's amazing. I got people walking dogs back here. I got four-wheel drive trucks burning up the ozone layer, spinning out in the gravel. Yeah, we're going to have a good time today. Before we go any further, I want to remind you about my friends over at Birch Gold. Text Graham, Graham, to 989898. Get your free, no-obligation information kit from Birch Gold to make sure that you guys have have everything you need to know about securing your future and your retirement backed by gold. You need that IRA backed by gold. We had Philip on the show yesterday. Let me tell you something. Philip knows what he's talking about over at Birch Gold. These guys are incredibly optimistic about the value and just gold, man. You got thousands of years of human history that prove that gold is the standard that's never going to go away. So, folks, I want you to text Graham to 989898. Some of you have been sitting on the fence. I want you to do it right now. Text Graham to 989898. Talk to him on the phone. Find out how you can secure your future backed by gold. Before we go any further, let me bring on the guy who also knows the truth and speaks into that darkness with a ton of revelation and wisdom. Even though you don't always understand him, his name is Mexican Tony.
I don't know if I find that rude or complimentary there, Chad. that's something. I appreciate it, I think. But hey, everybody's commenting in the chat there that you have some coyotes or wildlife behind you, man. You better watch your six there, Chad.
I do. I got them. I got people trying to walk their dogs back there. I guess they're gonna sit back there and wait for an hour for me to just finish this whole thing. Look, there they go. There go the dogs. You see them back there? There's CJ. She's out there walking dogs. She can't figure it out. She's slinking around. She didn't do her makeup for the show. Speaking of somebody else that didn't do their makeup for the show, America's favorite redneck, Hot Seat Todd's in the house.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Now, all right, here's the deal, chat. Right now, I have a gift. I have a gift for everybody. And right now, the likes are at 419, and you're not getting the gift until we reach 1,000 likes. We get 1,000 likes. It took me 30 minutes to build this gift for you. When we get to 1,000 likes, I will play it for you, but not until then. So get after it. Hit that like button.
All right. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let's see if that motivated anybody to do anything. Yeah, it popped it up by another 20. All right, we're on our way.
Come on.
Do you guys watch the NBA any at all?
I do. I watch the Celtics. They beat the Lakers this weekend.
Wrong league, but I like what you're thinking about. The WNBA, Angel Reese, she was the one, they kind of had the beef going back and forth with Caitlin Collins. I wouldn't even know, not Caitlin Collins, Caitlin Clark. I shouldn't say she's a journalist. She's with CNN. But Caitlin Clark, right? I wouldn't know anything about the WNBA if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark, and then kind of made Angel Reese relevant. Angel Reese came out and threatened to sit out of the WNBA games if she doesn't start getting paid more. Now, I want to remind everybody that they are subsidized by the men's league, by the NBA. Nobody cares about the WNBA. Even women don't watch the WNBA. Nobody. You can't give tickets away to a WNBA game. I made more money yesterday on one tweet about the WNBA than the WNBA made yesterday. So they're $40 million in the hole because they are subsidized by the NBA, and yet Angel Reese, these girls, don't forget, until Caitlin Clark came along, they were still flying commercial. She says, we deserve more. Deserve. See, that's the problem that I have, Tony, is these people who throw these phrases around about what they deserve. You literally dribble a rubber ball and throw it at a basket. You don't even really get it into the basket most of the time. Let's not forget, this is the girls' league. We deserve more. Everybody, but we have to face the consequences if y'all don't give us what we want like we sitting out.
Yeah. Just some numbers for you. So the WNBA has lost $10 million ever since they started. And the charter flights that you were just talking about, Chad?
Right.
They started the charter flights last season, and they've got them projected to lose $50 million this year. Not making any money, losing $50 million. And the NBA has to subsidize it, which the NBA made $11 billion last year. What company in the world do you know that loses $10 million a year, decides, hey, we're just going to keep trying this?
I have a question here. Why does the NBA keep subsidizing the WNBA? Because a lot of these girls could go overseas and make money in Europe. The women's leagues in Europe, for some reason, I don't know why, but I understand they're talented and whatnot, but I mean, the difference between the European leagues and the WNBA here is just astronomical. You can see the numbers. You look it up yourselves. They make so much money over there compared to here. And why does the NBA keep subsidizing these people? I don't get it.
Yeah, well, I think it's ironic that Angel Reese was on a cereal box and half the people in the country, 90% of Americans had no idea she was a basketball player and still don't. If she sat out next season, nobody would know the difference.
No, sit down. Like, what are we going to miss? You missing? Like, not only are you going to be missing, even when you're in the game, you're still missing. These girls aren't good. I mean, it's no look. I can remember growing up and Spud Webb, who was like 3'5", could slam dunk the basketball, and we all tuned in to watch him and Dominique Wilkins with the Atlanta Hawks do something. Like these guys, I wanted to see these guys spin and turn and, jump over each other and jump from the free throw line like Michael Jordan did. I mean, look at this little clip right here. Let this thing play. I mean, these people are horrible at this game. Man, it's a circus. Watch this deal. I mean, the best these gals can do 95% of the time is a layup, and they struggle at that.
Nope.
I'm not going to watch. Like, you remember when Saquon Barkley in the Super Bowl jumped over that dude backwards?
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of acrobatics I want to see. I need to see a gladiator match, not these girls, that got their manicures done and they're just throwing the rubber ball up there at the metal hoop.
Well, just to be completely clear here, and ladies, I'm sorry. Do you know who I blame for the WNBA sucking? You. It's your league. It's your league. How many of you ladies drafted Caitlin Clark in your fantasy draft this year? None. Not one. I'm sorry, but as a guy, if I'm going to buy plane tickets, hotels, and game tickets, I'm going to Boston to watch the Celtics. I'm sorry. I'm not going to watch the Mercury or whoever they play for. I'm just not. Like, so until women like Megan Rapinoe, Venus Williams, all these female athletes go sit their asses in the stands and watch these games, don't come to me crying. I mean, I've watched plenty of games Jason Tatum's played in. I've watched plenty of games that Dustin Pedroia and David Ortiz played with the Red Sox. I've watched Chipper play for the Braves. I've watched Alabama game after Alabama game. I support my teams. Support yours.
Yeah, people don't have teams. I couldn't tell you one single team name in the WNBA. And listen, people could say that I'm being misogynist or whatever else. You say, call it what you want to call it. I'm just telling you, I've seen enough clips where guys have like free tickets out on the street trying to give them away to people out on the street saying the WNBA game's going on. Would you like these tickets? And no one takes them.
Yeah.
No one wants to watch mediocrity.
I'm not going to watch that. I'm just not.
Here's the thing. Call it what you want to call it. Just don't call it professional sports. Now, they might be the best in whatever that category, but when the category is garbage, enough about that. Speaking of, listen, when you got guys that are better women than the women are, it's time for the women to step up. Listen, I'm just telling you. And I'm going to be very rude about that and very blunt about that. And you guys can disagree with me, yes or no, in the chat. But until women step up, this culture, this society is going to continue to allow men to be better women than actual biological women. Case in point, Dylan Mulvaney just wrote a book about how to be a girl.
Jesus,
and they had him on The View yesterday. And Dylan wants to lecture all of you about how to be a girl. Now, I know people say, we don't want to see this trash. We're going to show you this trash until our society wakes up and does something about it. So Dylan Mulvaney is reacting to Donald Trump, declaring that there are only two sexes.
I was so
he
scared
said,
that news
I'm a woman no matter what my passport says. Play the clip.
outlets would take my admission into a mental health facility as a way to paint me and all belong in.
Suicidal ideation and dissociation. I'm still battling with some of that guilt and that shame and that dysphoria that was projected onto me during that time. And that was a situation that I wouldn't have wished on my worst enemy now that I've lived through it.
Mulvaney says she never wanted to be an activist, but has found herself navigating a society that's not always supportive.
Yeah. He 100% wanted to be an activist. When you go out in the street with a bag full of tampons and you're handing them out and you don't have a vagina, you 100% want the attention. You want to be an activist. So, yeah, we're going to keep on exposing this stuff. Now, there's an amazing clip that came out. An amazing clip that came out yesterday. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to see it. I'm going to show you because it's going to expose to you guys the empty fallacies and the lies of the left, the stuff that the stuff that no one ever thinks about, okay? So Sam Cedar sat down with our friend Eleazar. I'm going to try to get Eleazar on the show, maybe today. Eleazar needs to blow up big. If you're not following him, I want you guys to watch this clip. Now, I don't know if you've seen this show. Charlie Kirk's been on this show. Ben Shapiro's been on this show. Basically, they try to gang up on somebody that is a huge influencer, and they get a pile of people in there to see if they can gang up on them. It's sort of a dumb concept, but some pretty revealing conversations come out of this thing. Play this clip.
Hey.
Eliezer.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so I would like to touch on the religious fundamentalist aspect.
Yeah.
Are you an atheist?
I'm a Reformed Jew. I don't have a strong belief in the existence of God, but I don't think that religion in and of itself is bad.
Okay, so what's wrong with religious fundamentalists? So like when you said trans rights and women's rights or something like that?
Well, the problem I have with religious fundamentalists, and really more, I guess it's really theocrats,
Okay.
is that they want to impose their morality that comes from their religion on the rest of us, and I don't.
But morality, from your view, is going to be a preference, right? It's not morality; it's a preference.
What's
So morality without a foundation is going to reduce you to a preference.
Well, I have a foundation for my morality.
Which is what?
It's a humanist vision of what basically creates as little suffering as possible for as many people.
Okay, so you're like a consequentialist? Utilitarian?
I don't really bother myself with being a consequentialist or a utilitarian.
It's always going to reduce you to a preference. So if you say that killing is wrong and I say it's right, you would really have no contention with that.
Well, no, I don't base my understanding of civil society on religion. And so we have a civil society.
Okay.
We have laws that we have decided as a society in a
Yes.
democratic way. And for
Perfect.
some people, it's okay for it to be informed by their religion. That's okay.
Okay, perfect. So if tomorrow society comes together and we say, hey, trans folks don't deserve rights, you would be okay with that?
No, I would be against it, but I mean, it would be
It would be morally right under your
not
view.
morally right. No. I'm
Okay.
not talking about morals
Okay,
here.
so here's where I'm getting to, right? Religious foundations provide an ethical framework for one to live their life off
I
of.
believe you can have an ethical framework without
and
religion.
if we take the leftist view to its logical tail end, to its extreme view, you have low reproductive birth rates. You have a reproductive dead end, so two men together can't reproduce unless they have to take from a healthy straight couple. Religion provides this foundation where you do prioritize the nuclear family.
So do you have a problem with gay people being married?
It's not that I have a problem. I just don't see a justification for why they ought to be gay outside of it just feels good. Can you give me another justification for it?
Well, I think maybe that's the way they were born.
Okay, what about pedophiles? Are they born that way?
They may be, yeah.
Okay, so should we let a pedophile off the hook since they were born that way?
No, I think we as a society has
Should
decided.
implement duties to prevent them from acting on that innate urge, correct?
Well, I think between consenting adults, it's a different thing than.
Okay,
than
so you're okay
preying on
with a
children.
45-year-old dad with a 19-year-old daughter as well? Incest.
No.
If they consent, you're okay with that?
No, I think society has also determined that it's not beneficial.
Right, there's
for-
duties and obligations that we have, so religion provides those duties. Life isn't about
Well, but
freedom
also
and
I can-
exercising what you want.
I mean, well, you want to impose your religious doctrine
No,
on me,
because
and I don't want that.
you just admitted we need duties. We have responsibility as a society to keep us functioning, to keep us thriving. Your leftist view, the liberal view, doesn't provide anything besides it just makes me feel good. Religion does. So what's your argument?
There you go. Absolutely. I wanted you guys to see all of that because Eleazar absolutely destroyed him. Now, in case you missed it, let me just give you guys. He did such an eloquent and incredible job, so articulate with that deal. Sam Cedar is still got his chapped ass over that. But let me just tell you. You can't use certain vocabulary like Sam Cedar was doing, like talking about what's beneficial or what is good or what is bad or what is compatible. You see, those are words that are a part of the vocabulary of the theist. You can't use those words if you don't believe in God. Why? Because you can't talk about what's good unless you know what's bad. And you don't know what's bad unless you have a standard for good, and the only standard for good ultimately is God. So if you're going to take away that standard, you can't justify using the vocabulary of the divine in order to justify certain lifestyles or logical fallacies or these progressive ideas that are out there that are built on something that is actually detrimental to society, when what you're trying to do is go based on your feelings. Now, if you want to go on your feelings, say that, but don't try to justify that with some kind of standard of right, wrong, good, bad. You can't do that. Eleazar exposed that completely, boys. Completely.
And can we get away? Can we please get away from two arguments here? Number one, well, they were just born gay. They were born that way. God made them that way, and God doesn't make mistakes. No, you were not born that way. Okay, sorry. God did not make you that way. I'm sorry. No, the answer is no. Now, God gave you free will to choose to be that way, and there are consequences for said choice, but God made you man, he made you woman, and yeah, you're right, God doesn't make mistakes. And two, stop blaming the devil for everything. Stop saying, well, it's Satan and their demonic possession, because like I said yesterday, once you do that, once you say, well, it's the devil, well, it's demonic possession, now at this point, you're giving the devil more power than the one that created him. God cannot make you choose him or choose the right thing to do or to read the Bible or to help an old lady cross the street or to pray for somebody. The same way that the devil does not have the power to make you turn gay or trans or demonic or whatever. We have free will to choose, and that's the problem in itself. Nobody's accepting responsibility. Nobody's taking accountability. If God can't do it, then the devil can't do it. Sorry, stop it.
Todd, I need to come on your show and have this conversation with you, because I had a conversation with my family about a little bit about religion, but anyways, I digress, because we can go into it for freaking the whole hour. But yeah, to Chad and yours point there, guys, Eleazar, I've never seen him in action. I've heard of him before, and I've seen a couple of his clips here and there, but he absolutely destroyed that guy. I mean, everything he was spewing out there, he was just on point. I mean, you can see that he is very well educated. You can see that he went there with a point, with his beliefs in hand, and I didn't disagree with anything he was saying. I mean, the way, and that's what I like about being on this show, is that every day you learn something new, and I hope that the chat sees that as well. We're not just coming on here as, trying to influence what you guys think. We're actually coming in here as being students as well, because we learn stuff from the clips, and we also learn stuff from the chat, because I'm always reading the chat as we're going, and they're coming up with all kinds of good information too. Like boom, boom, boom. It's awesome, and it's awesome to see what will come in the next 5 minutes. It's just, we're always learning.
Yeah, and Tony, that's a great point, because I say it often that I love reading the comments in the chat. We're always looking down, we're looking at the chat, we're seeing what people are saying as much as we can, because I learn from you guys more than anything. I'm one of these guys. Sometimes I see these clips for the first time. And sometimes we'll just pop some things in there that we weren't expecting to put in there. Like this morning, we weren't thinking about putting this clip in there, but man, it's such a good clip. Like, it's such a thought-provoking thing, and it might be a lot for people to consider on a Tuesday morning, this early. But I want people to think about that, because to your point, Todd, and this is what Eleazar brought up. He's like, okay, so you saying that people can be born a minor attracted person?
Yeah, no.
No, like you can't, because the guy goes, Sam Cedar goes, maybe. No, there's no maybe to it. Now, there may be some desire, some things going on inside of you that's so ingrained in you. Maybe there's some father wounds or some kind of trauma that's in there that's so ingrained at you at an early age that you think you were born a certain way. But you weren't born a certain way. That is the power of sin. Let's talk about that for a second, because that's the power of sin. It is so strong. It is so part of our essence and being. That's why whenever, talking about, people come to Jesus and you talk about getting regenerated, you're regened. You get a new DNA. It's God's DNA. And without going too far into that, I'm just telling you, that's the regenerative process. We need to be completely regened, because we are so ingrained in sin and rebellion against God that we think that we were actually created to be that way, and it's not. We're living in the wrong model, man. I mean, we got to get an overhaul on this thing.
Big time, big time.
Take some ivermectin. That's what you guys need to do. You know what we did? We went out and we found you a great source for not only some good medications, but some ivermectin. Have you guys ever thought about how diverse of a medication ivermectin is? It caught a bad rap for a long time during the pandemic, scandemic, all that stuff. But I've got a friend of mine who messaged me the other day. He said, man, I started taking ivermectin. He said, the stuff coming out of me, he said, it's insane. He said, the anti-parasitic qualities of ivermectin are incredible. Not to mention the stuff that's going on right now where people are seeing results when it comes to fighting cancer and dealing with cancer treatments in ivermectin, as well as its properties, as we know, with COVID. And people say, well, you can't prove all of that stuff. Well, you can't prove it because, you can prove it actually with the results. The problem is you're not going to have some big studies that are being done behind it because they don't want to fund it. But don't forget, ivermectin won a Nobel Prize for its versatile effects. So we went out and found an incredible source with a new sponsor, All Family Pharmacy. You can go to allfamilypharmacy.com. You can use promo code Dear America. That's a long one, but we want you to do it. These guys are incredible, and we went out and found them. What an incredible resource they are. Allfamilypharmacy.com. Use promo code Dear America and save. They got all you need when it comes to ivermectin and a bunch of other stuff on there. You can do a little shopping while you're there. But I want you guys to consider making sure that you're stocked up and you have some ivermectin on hand. And I love saying the word ivermectin. For the longest time, we were banned for using the word ivermectin. But you can get over there, you can get all the milligrams, 5 milligrams all the way up, and you can get the tablet, or 3 milligrams actually. You can go all the way down. If you want to microdose that and take a regular dose of it, I'm telling you, go check it out, man. Allfamilypharmacy.com. And when you get over there at checkout, do not forget to use promo code Dear America. Everybody put a DA in the chat right now. Let's blow that thing up with a little DA. Let's a little DA. I'm gonna put it in there. I put a lowercase DA, and I'm putting an uppercase DA.
Little DA.
Do you have a little sound bite we could hear? Todd, do you have a little sound bite?
I do, but I was, you know what? Are we up to 1,000 yet? We're close enough. All right, is everybody ready for it? I found this for y'all. Quiet on the set, everybody. Quiet on the set. This is just for y'all.
Oh, my God!
You're welcome. I told you I'd do it. I found it. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It's great to hear him back on the show.
Yep.
Do it one more time.
Do it again.
Do it one more time.
Do it again. Who's ready for the Graham scream? Here we go.
Oh, my God!
There you go. There you go.
I was getting the rumble feed playing back in my ears, so I was hearing double. Oh my God! I can't do it. I can't do it.
I can't
That
do
is-
it. I can't.
that
That is his only.
I've told Graham for years. I'm like, dude, how tight are your pants? How tight are your pants?
Y'all
Tony, have you talked to Graham? Have you talked to Graham in the last day or two?
I have not, actually. The last time I talked to him was last week, and it was literally like a 30-second conversation. I needed some administrative stuff, and I texted him. He texted me back like 5 minutes later, just a little FYI here. He's like, dude, I have 30 seconds. What's up? And I was like, I need blah, 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 blah. All right, I'll text it to you. Okay, I got to go. Boom. I mean, that's how
I don't even bother to call him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even. If he wants to talk to me, he can call me.
Well,
that's kind of the way it is.
Yeah, he's super busy, and we're all family here, but I'm literally his family. So that's how much time I have. Yeah, that's how much time I have with him right now.
There were a lot of folks who were asking for Eliezer how to find him.
Hold up. I'm gonna put the link in the chat.
Yeah, Easy Debates, EAZY Debates, at Easy Debates. That's with a Z. And you can go to streetdebates.com as well and check it out. Sean Curran was sworn in yesterday as the head of the Secret Service. I think that's a good move. Especially since we know now that Dan Bongino is going to be the deputy vice FBI director, and Sean Curran. We all saw his face in that epic, now legendary fight picture there in Butler, Pennsylvania, as he was there escorting Donald Trump off the stage after the bullet grazed his ear. And But he was sworn in. There you see the clip. And so that's good. That's good. I mean, there were a lot of questions about the Secret Service after the Butler PA deal. And also as well as what happened at the golf course there when they apprehended the guy. And apparently, the Secret Service emptied his service weapon and missed the guy from 6 feet. We need an overhaul at every department in the government.
So what do you guys think that Sean's first directive is going to be? I mean, is he gonna go in there and say you're fired to all the agents, or just or what do you think he's going to do?
Well, you remember there, Butler, PA, we all were making fun of the clip where, the little, teapot, short and stout, the little girl couldn't find her holster to, put her weapon back in. And there was that kind of stuff. And then when the motorcade pulled up to the hospital, to the emergency room, she was still trying to get her gun into her holster.
Right.
So hopefully that kind of nonsense, like we don't need 5-foot-tall Secret Service agents.
Yeah, not guarding a 6'2" man. No.
Yeah, we don't need
not.
that.
No,
we don't
not
need
at all.
that.
You got to figure out, number one, no, and I'm sorry, first things first, how are people getting through security to get guns inside the Capitol building?
Right.
Number one. Number two, how are people getting that close to the White House with a weapon?
Yeah.
Number three, and this is a tricky one for me. I was thinking about this last night. How to keep the airspace locked down in Mar-a-Lago, because it's not like you can have F-16s or NORAD can have F-16s patrolling Mar-a-Lago 24/7. I don't know, maybe put some Patriot missiles in the front yard or something. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
What about keeping an attack helicopter in Mar-a-Lago with a pilot on standby just in case somebody's
that'll work. Put a couple of Apaches in the front yard.
Yep.
I mean, that'll work. Work.
Yeah, some few Tomahawk missiles. I like the idea, man. Just kind of make it like the second White House right there.
Some Hellfire missiles. I'm down.
People still asking where can I find Eleazar?
I just posted the link, people.
It's on the link. Todd, you got to be patient. You got to be patient with our friends, okay? People, Easy Debates with a Z, EAZY debates.
Here,
at Easy Debates.
I'll pin it just because I love you.
Yeah, and then streetdebates.com. He's and I love it because you'll see it when you get over there. You'll see his profile picture. It's funny. I don't know. I haven't really said anything about it, but 2 weeks ago I was at the Oval Office, and while I was there, Sean Curran was there standing right there at Trump's desk, and he came over and shook my hand and told me he was a big fan of me. These are just a few things that didn't happen. But I did say thank you and congratulations to him on that. I think it was a good move to have Sean there. And, so anyway, good stuff, man. Oh, boy, let's move on. J.D. Vance, talking about putting somebody in their place. These people keep coming after J.D. Vance. I promise you it's never going to end well for you. J.D. Vance, every time they try to troll him, meme him, anything they do, it just looks bad for them. So here's a heckler that's going to interrupt his speech at the National League of Cities. Play the clip here. Listen closely to what he says.
Consistent relationship between a massive increase in immigration and a massive increase in housing prices. And we have to be honest about that. Well, I see one of our nice representatives out here wants to actually, I guess, continue to flood the country with illegal immigrants, making communities and citizens unaffordable.
Yeah.
But ma'am, with all respect, one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing is because we want to make it more affordable for Americans to live. That is one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing.
See, that's all cute, but I miss the days of Reagan. Oh, shut up. I'm
they
sorry.
are literally guaranteeing J.D. Vance in 2020.
Oh, 100%.
With everything they do. And he takes it with common sense, a grain of salt, and a great sense of humor. And, I'm so sick of these people who are talking about, he changed his name so many times. He literally wrote a book about that.
Yeah.
Like, really, go read the dadgum book about it.
Reagan never said, okay, all right, hang on. Continue.
It's okay, man. You can live in whatever reality you want, Todd. It's a postmodern society. We've already established that feelings are more important.
You know what's funny with this lady, that heckler here, is that not funny, but it's frustrating is what it is, because they're expecting change like that. And we talked about this yesterday. It's going to take a while for the administration to fix everything that the Biden administration left, that shambles of our economy, everything. Everybody needs to be patient, because obviously we see all the good that Trump is doing. You just got to give him some time. We like as we told Todd a little bit ago, be patient, Todd. We just need to be patient.
Be patient, Todd.
No.
We should put that on a shirt. Be patient, Todd.
I don't have it.
Did y'all see Todd's little meltdown yesterday? That was fantastic. That was good. I mean, look, brother, I don't blame you. Went after him, and Todd did it a little bit differently than J.D. Vance. He's like, email me your address right now.
Man, look, and I was going to apologize to people on my show. I'm still young in this. That's just not something I expect somebody to say in a chat like that. And I've told y'all on this show, I've told you on my show, that when it comes to that brown-headed, blue-eyed woman, I'll burn this whole county down. I'm telling you now. I'll do it.
Bless your heart.
I'm gonna have to change my name then, Todd, because that was me. I was just trolling you, dude. I guess I'm sorry, man.
Bro, it was a joke.
I didn't know.
It was a joke.
I didn't know you were gonna go off so bad. I was like, change your name.
It was a joke, man. No, don't you ever apologize for that. Absolutely not. We'll all go to war for you on that one. Sad news came out yesterday. Our friend Jamie White with InfoWars, apparently Sunday night around midnight, Austin, Texas, he was murdered right outside of his home. And Jamie's a good man. I don't know what Jamie was doing or working on. I hope they get to the bottom of this. No suspects at this point, but brutally murdered. And Alex Jones had a few things to say just in terms of Jamie's legacy. This is a sad, sad deal. Jamie was close in connection with this community, and he was an incredible journalist, incredible writer. And they need to get to the bottom of this very much so and find out if he was targeted in some way. I don't want to be the one who jumps the gun and starts speculating, but I do know there has been a lot of calls for violence towards journalists, towards conservative speakers, towards conservative influence. There's a lot of call for violence out there on the part of the left. Even Jasmine Crockett put out a animated meme the other day where there was a conservative laying on the ground and two animated beings, person, stick figures, one of her and one of AOC, beating on the Republican down on the ground. This can't happen, man, especially when a congresswoman's posting stuff like that. Let's play just a little bit of Alex's, what he had to say about Jamie.
You know him as a great reporter and researcher. He was up here last night working late during the Sunday show and after it. And we even have his last post on X where he responded to Elon Musk. Jamie was murdered last night outside of his home, just a few miles away from our studios. And we are the folks here breaking that news first because his family has been notified, and his good personal friends here that were very close to Jamie have talked to his folks and family. We sent some people over this morning when he didn't answer the phone, because he's always here early, loves to work, loves to fight tyranny, loves to promote freedom. And when they got to the apartment complex, there was yellow tape everywhere and blood all over the parking lot. And we went and talked to the manager. They didn't know anything. It's like everybody else we see in the left. They just very laissez-faire. But our crew member saw a police officer and went and talked to them. And they made a phone call. And she had the details when she talked to him and knew Jamie. The police officer said, yes, he died at the hospital very soon after they got him there. The police responded within 2 minutes, and they had him at the hospital where he was pronounced dead within 18 minutes. So I want to say the police did a great job in the response time, despite, I'm going to talk about in a moment who I hold responsible for this, and who is responsible for this, and who are accomplices to Jamie and so many others' murder, and so many others that have been raped and mugged. Heard me on air talk about how the crime is very, very bad here in Austin. Any leftist city is, and just exploded the last 4 years. But let me just tell you what happened to Jamie. What we know so far, his last post on X was 16 hours ago. There's Jamie's X account. I've sworn upon the altar of God, eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. Original gangster, Thomas Jefferson. And, I mean, I'll just say it. Jamie was our best writer and reporter. They're all great, but they all said he was the best. I mean, there's others that are almost as good, but not as good as Jamie. And he wrote 6-7 articles yesterday, posted all this news, did all this great research, gave us information for the show, assisted us in what we were doing. And we came in this morning, the crew looked really upset, and they said Jamie didn't come in. And so we sent one of the crew down there. And didn't look good. And then they didn't even want to tell me yet that the cops had said, no, it was Jamie White. We were the first to learn. We waited until the afternoon until the family's been told. You saw a little clip from the newscast about this in the early morning hours, and it's just Austin Police Department officers responded to a high-priority emergency call at approximately 11:57 p.m. Sunday night. The call was shoot, stab, hot shot, which refers to a high-priority potential life-threatening call involving possibility of an active shooter or stabbings. Officers arrived about 2 minutes later and found a male victim, obvious signs of trauma, according to APD Public Information Officer Leah Ratliff. Officers attempted life-saving measures before the victim was transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead at approximately 12:19 a.m. Monday morning. Homicide detectives are actively investigating the incident, which marks Austin's 8th homicide of the year. Authorities have not released information about potential suspects or specific nature of the victim's injuries. This is pretty early on in the investigation, and the homicide unit will be releasing more information as they're able, Ratliff said during a media briefing. Well, we've talked to the police off record.
You know, our hearts go out to not only the InfoWars family. I've sent messages to a number of them this morning, not yesterday. I wanted to let them have some time to grieve, but we did reach out. And if we get more information on this from the inside, we'll certainly share it as we can with sensitivity. But, you know, Jamie was a good man, and this is a sad deal. You know, Austin, Texas is garbage. I always refer to these big cities in Texas as being the blueberries in the chili. You know, we think of Texas as being conservative. Texas ain't the Texas most Texans think it is. But Austin is the hub where the spokes run out from, and Austin is just a garbage town. You know, the battle cry for Austin for years and years is keep Austin weird. Well, when 10% of your population is transient by choice, that's pretty dadgum weird. But, you know, because of their defund the police initiatives as well as their Soros-backed DA, they won't even, 911's not going to do you any good. I mean, unless you're in the act of being raped or murdered, they're horrible about responding. So I hope they get to the bottom of this. I'm sure they will. I'm telling you, you don't want to mess with anybody from InfoWars. You don't want Alex Jones coming after you because those guys, Chase Geiser and Owen Schroyer, the rest of them, those guys know how to get to the bottom of a story. So I hope that they manage to do that in quick effect, guys. So this is a sad deal. Stay strapped, folks.
Yes.
Stay strapped and keep your head on a swivel, because this is, in many ways, regardless of what happened here, we already know the verbiage and the vernacular of the left that has been put out there publicly. We're already seeing the attacks that are happening. There are calls for violence, and I want to encourage you guys to never take anything for granted, ever. Stay strapped.
Yes, so, like depending on where you live. I mean, obviously, you know, where I live and where Tony lives. I mean, we're okay for that most part. You know, we don't have the craziness running around like Austin and some of the cities that you people in the chat live in. I would just caution you, like, make sure that, like, you know, not just stay strapped, but get training. Okay, go to the range, get training, learn how to defend yourself. at close quarters, long quarters, get that training, have weapons in your home. And people ask me all the time, well, Todd, I have children in my home. That's okay. Teach your children about the weapons, because as long as you do, I had my 2 little boys, they were 9, 10 years old, and they knew how to fire a pistol. They knew the dangers of a pistol. Keep weapons in your house just in case something like this happens. You have the ability to defend yourself, or more importantly, defend your family. Stay strapped and get trained, please.
So,
please,
Chad,
people.
before we move on, because Austin sounds a lot like Portland, Oregon, where I came from, and Todd's 100% right. I feel so much safer here in South Carolina than I did in Oregon. Oregon used to be a great city, it's still a beautiful state, but their whole defund the police and let liberals run around, half naked and not responding to phone calls, not responding to 911 calls, to the point where, I hate to share this, but I pulled a gun on somebody that was trying to break into my house, and I stopped him from coming in. My daughters were there with my wife, and I literally called 911, and I was like, hey, I pulled a gun on somebody, just FYI, just in case something came back to me. And the 911 person literally said, well, are they still there? And I was like, no. And they're okay. And they were like, oh, okay, well, call us back if they come back. We don't have any officers to respond to that. Literally said, we don't have any officers to respond to that. So it sounds like Austin is in the same boat. They don't respond unless there's murder, rape happening on, at that time. But they're not going to respond to any burglaries or car breaking, anything like that. And it's just sad because, like you said, Chad, and you taught as well, stay vigilant. Keep your head on a swivel, stay strapped, because we have a right to protect ourselves, protect our families. And for those of you who are anti-gun, you're only going to be anti-gun until something happens, and then you're going to wish that, it's better to have it and not need it, people. That's all I'm saying.
Especially when it comes, if you've got little ones in the house.
My goodness.
And men, that's your responsibility. Look,
Absolutely.
Men, that is your responsibility. You have several responsibilities as a husband and father. Number one, raise your children up in the ways of the Lord so that when they get old, they will not depart from it. That's your main priority. But number two is protection. It is your responsibility to protect your household at all costs, even if that means that you have to give up your freedom by living behind a prison cell. That's your responsibility.
Absolutely.
That is your responsibility. Do it.
100%, Todd.
Yeah, and that's real talk. It's real talk. We live in an evil world. We go all the way back to when Cain slew his brother Abel with a rock. The people's man's inhumanity to man. We live in an evil world. I want you guys to live as long as you possibly can. I want your families to know your legacy as long as they possibly can. You do that. There's a reason why after the First Amendment, our founding fathers, after winning a revolution against the world superpower and overthrowing a monarchy in the chains of tyranny, the very first priority they had after free speech was making sure that you stayed armed.
Yeah.
It's important. They don't want us talking about that. They want to throttle that. They don't want images of it on YouTube. I get it. But it's a conversation we got to have.
Yeah.
It's a conversation we have got to have. So be ready,
really,
folks.
Really simple. When I was stationed in North Carolina, somebody stole a car right in front of my driveway, 3 feet in front of my front door. And a cop cop showed up and asked me, did somebody come in the house? And I said, do you see bodies? No, nobody's in my house. And he's like, sir, you can't just. And I said, listen, bro, real simple. I would rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
That's right. That's right.
It's that simple.
100%.
Yep. I got it, baby. Got it. Elon Musk announced that X is suffering a massive cyber attack, and it could be the work of a nation state. This was yesterday. We all dealt with a little bit of X being down. Nick Sorter said globalists are viciously anti-Elon at the moment, so don't be surprised if it turns out to be the case. Elon Musk actually put the blame on Ukraine. There was some speculation as to whether or not that was true. Here's what Elon had to say in regards to that. Play the clip.
There was a cyber attack on X today, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced. Yes. It's a big story. You want to give us a moment on that?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
Now, there are a lot of people who were there was one group that took credit for this, and Ed Krasenstein on X, he was saying that he had communication with them, and they were saying they were not in Ukraine, and that they had the ability to attack even larger targets, which included some international banking systems. These people out there, I wonder if this was a test to check smaller targets in a smaller way to see if they could do a bigger thing. I'll just tell you, my buddy John Rich posted something yesterday over on X, and he said, I can't explain it. He said, but I kind of have, and I'm summarizing and paraphrasing. He says, but I sort of have that on edge, something's about to happen feeling going on in my gut. I got to be honest with you guys. I have that same feeling. I have. Ever since Sunday, it just feels like something is stirring, and it's not good. Like there's a negativity. I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm not trying to make you nervous. I'm not trying to say anything. I just have that gut feeling inside of me that's intuitive. I'd love to hear if you guys are feeling any negativity in your own souls. What's going on? Here's John's deal right here. Not sure what's happening or about to happen, but I feel that bump in my uneasy meter right now. How about you? I agree with that, dude. I mean, that so summarized what I was feeling when I read that yesterday.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that at all, man. With everything that's going on right now, and the left is just, man, they're pouring gasoline on this fire over and over and over and over and over and over, to the point to where at this point it's a scary thought that they're radicalizing this people. And might I remind everybody that even though the border is closed and we don't have as many crossings nowhere near that we've had during the Biden era, or for any era for that matter, there are still people here that shouldn't be here. And we don't know what their intentions are. We don't know what their plans are. And they're not only are they radicalizing Americans, but you've got people that shouldn't be here that are running, and those people are desperate, and desperate equals dangerous.
Yeah, when the government cheese starts drying up, and Tony, I want to get your take, but this is what Ed Krasenstein said. He said he'd been in contact with the leader of a hacker group, Dark Storm. They were taking credit for the DDoS attack on X. He said, the reason they gave me for the attack is just a demonstration of our strength with no political motives. There's a lot of people that can take credit for something, but I'm going to choose to believe Elon Musk finding IP addresses over Ed Krasenstein's source. Now, that's just me. Now, if the implications of that are true on a global scale, that it is a state-led attack on the part of Ukraine, this could set these peace negotiations back tremendously. And Elon says that, I mean, this, if as this post says, if Ukraine is really behind this, it should result in serious hardball going forward to end the war.
Or just let Russia have it.
I mean, in big bold talk, I mean, that's one way to look at it. You don't want to see something like that happen. I don't. I mean, I don't think that's the best course of action. But I'll tell you, Tony, this world is getting very much on edge.
Well, I was gonna say, when I saw this clip last night, all kinds of emotion ran through my head. The first one was concern, little bit scary, because obviously we know that Elon is very, very intelligent. He's a savant. We know that, and the fact that somebody was able to hack into his platform X with all the firewalls and all the intelligent people he's got working for them just makes me a little bit on edge. You're like, all right, well, how did that happen? Because obviously, like I said, he is highly intelligent. He could run circles around the smartest freaking rocket scientists out there. And this is just a little bit scary for me that was able to happen. Obviously, it's not like hacking into NORAD or anything like that, but still, the fact that there's hackers out there that can do that is a little bit scary for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to shut X down. It's another thing to bring planes down. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could go on. And, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that there are these, whether it's state-sponsored terror or these hackers that are, behind the scenes that nobody knows, it's crazy what they're capable of doing. So, we see on the physical scale, on the local scale, if you will, where these folks are attacking these Tesla Cybertruck dealerships. I mean, they've shot them up. They've set them on fire. They're putting first responders' lives in danger. This is insane. This right here just demonstrates the violence that we're seeing. I said yesterday on my show, TDS, Trump derangement syndrome is bad. This EDS, this Elon derangement syndrome, is next level. And I think it's because in a big way they lost one of their own. To see a guy like Elon, who they considered to be theirs, completely flip and become something else. I think look at this thing. That's what happens when those batteries get on fire.
And again, why do people go out and destroy property? I'm not just talking about these people destroying these cyber trucks. When the BLM riots were going on in Portland, I saw so much destruction. People were looting. People were destroying businesses, and those are businesses from people, from just everyday people like you and me. Blue-collar workers who were trying to make ends meet with their business, and they would go out and they would just destroy things because they were trying to get their point across. And what point is it when you're destroying small businesses? I mean, what does that have to do? I know Elon's a multi-gazillionaire. I get that. But still, it's nothing but destruction of property that I don't understand what that does for your cause.
Yeah. And destroying somebody's personal property like this right here, where they went out and painted Tesla supports fascists on the side of somebody's Tesla car, versus a dealership which is insured, and also he probably bills those Cybertrucks for about $50,000, $60,000 a piece. I mean, he could blow that out of his nose. You're not hurting Elon personally. What you're doing is you're putting people in danger that shouldn't be put in that danger, whether it's a first responder, fireman, law enforcement, somebody like that that's run into crisis when most people run away from it, and then destroying people's personal property. I mean, it's insane that this world that we're living in, folks. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. People have lost their minds. We joke about bringing the asylums back, but these people are morons. I mean, they're empty-headed morons. They belong in a padded cell, guys.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, you can't disguise vandalism as somebody said in the chat. You can't disguise vandalism as a virtue. Okay, let's just call this what it is. This is domestic terrorism. They need to be found. They need to be tried for terrorism, and they need to be taken to a black site with a black hood and never to be seen or heard from again. That's what it's going to take. I know I'm chuckle guy here, but that's what it's going to. It's
going to be the censor guy is what it's going to be.
But that's what it's got to take. Like, you got to start making examples out of some of these people. Let the cops off their chains. Let the police officers, the FBI agents, the CIA, let state, federal, county, city law enforcement do their freaking jobs again. Make example out of these people, and this will stop. If you make an example out of a few of them, this will stop. Because let's be honest, guys, these people are not like these hardened gangster mafia criminals. They're freaking snowflakes that live in their mother's basements, playing Halo, ain't seen the sun. The only time they see the sun is when they come out and do this stuff. Well, never mind, because they do it at night. The only time they see the sun is when they come out of the basement to eat mama's meatloaf. All right, let's be real. You like the dude, the dude that punched the Tesla in New York that we showed yesterday. Okay. Yeah. I have the perfect scenario for my fellow New Yorkers. Get all of your redneck buddies to New York to visit for a couple weeks. Let them drive your Tesla, even though we don't want to. Let them drive your Tesla around for a couple weeks. Because when that happens and those people hear, game on, and it stops.
Todd, you got a great point. And unfortunately, the last 4 years of the Biden administration, they were enabled to do all this kind of stuff without any repercussions, any consequences. So just like the economy is going to take a while, it's going to take a while to filter out all the left management in there, all the mayors, all the governors. It's going to take a while for us to get all of them out of there, so people can start to have consequences again, so we could drop the hammer on them. And again, like to Todd's point, there's a lot of snowflakes out there that are they're used to doing this kind of thing without having to deal with anything. So Todd's 100% right. We got to make examples out of them, and they have to know that when something like this happens, when you break the law and destroy people's property, there's going to be hell to pay.
It's really simple, guys. There's a reason why that stuff doesn't happen down here, because we don't play that. All right, we don't.
Yeah.
Like,
remember, folks, cadaver dogs can smell down to about 12 feet. So make sure you dig your hole about 15
I'm
feet
just
deep
saying.
if you got the
That's
track.
good to know, Chad. Thanks.
And so for the one that said I was wrong, Exhibit A. Go ahead, Mr. Producer. Help me out here.
Oh, shut up.
I love
it. You're welcome, America.
That's so great. That's so great. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I agree with you. There needs to be some of that backwoods justice that goes on. Years ago, Glenn Beck had a fleet of cars. He had an armored SUV, but then he had a Mercedes that had come out of the protection fleet that was part of Obama's deal. And he wanted to sell me this vehicle that when you grabbed the door handle, you could push a button from the inside console and it would electrify the handle.
Oh.
So he had a deal where it would like put spikes. It would drop spikes out of the back if you were being followed. They had to take that feature out because that is indeed illegal. But Glenn Beck had some pretty interesting features on that SUV. The thing also, you couldn't stop it with the brakes because it was so armored and heavy. He was trying to sell me both vehicles, and I'm like, as tempting as that is, I just hope I don't ever need something like that. But
you don't want me to have something like that. I'm
the
just
ability to electrify the door handle while somebody's trying to get in there was absolutely beautiful.
You don't want me to have something like that.
That sounds like a video game, dude. Like something from remember that old video game Spy Hunter, where that guy with the car would drop oil slicks and smoke screens and missiles and all that.
Dude, that's double O Spears right there. That's double O hot seat. Give it to
Todd,
me, baby.
let me tell you how rednecks do things. And I mean, I knew a guy that had a problem at night where the cats kept getting on his car. Like they'd walk all over his car and he'd come out and he had cat prints all over it. So he basically electrified his car.
Oh my gosh.
And it's not that hard to do.
No, and the next morning he would go out. He'd go out and he'd find more than just the cat's prints. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, shut up. I love it. Hey, but you know what? Let me just show you guys this. We'll play you just a little piece of this clip right here. If you think it's hopeless, it's not. It's not. We're not fighting a hopeless cause. People's eyes can still be opened. We can still win people over to what we're saying. Now, this girl's funny because she still bases all of her logic off of emotions and feelings. But I want you to listen very closely because this could be. When I saw this, I was like, is this going to be a CLC Cry Libs Cry time to blow up the chat? But I want you guys to listen to what she says. This is an encouraging message. Let's just listen to a minute of it. Go.
The reason I am so critical of the Democratic Party right now is because I literally just left it, just like a lot of other people. I was a bleeding heart liberal like all of you. I mean, blue hair and everything. Believe me, I have plenty of pictures proving that I was all in. If you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said there is no way in hell I will ever vote for Donald Trump. But let me tell you what changed my mind. The big moment for me was when the left started trying to push this like Nazi, Hitler, fascism narrative that they're trying to push right now. Like what y'all actually did is made a lot of us really go research Trump even harder. And we started to realize that a lot of things that you guys had shown us about Trump and things that he had said were taken way out of context. A lot of us started noticing a pattern where you guys were showing us like little 10-second clips of a 10-minute conversation that did not reflect the entirety of that conversation at all. So that was number one. And then around Thanksgiving, all of a sudden you guys are telling us that it would be better for us to sit at home and spend the holidays with no one than it would be to go home to your family who voted for Trump. When I heard that, I was like, okay, now y'all are wildin', because you cannot tell me that it is better for your mental health to sit at home alone than it is to go and spend time with your friends and family. Y'all had actual therapists getting on TV and telling you guys this. And the sad thing is that it would have been better for them to encourage you to do something like find other people that believe the same as you to spend the holidays with, but they didn't. They told you to stay in your home and spend the holidays with no one.
There you go.
I like
took
to
her
see
nose
the
ring
reverse.
out and everything.
I know. I like to see the reverse.
Shut up. Shut up.
I love it. I love it. Speaking of which, hang on a second.
Oh my God!
Hey, you know what? Isn't that encouraging? I mean, now granted, her logic is still based on her feelings. Like even her, well, you're going to tell me I can't go hang out with my family. Listen, that's still based on feelings. But however she comes over, at least she's got back to semi-natural hair color again.
Yeah.
The fact that she verified herself as a member of the progressive group by saying I was bona fide because I had purple hair, blue hair. I like it. And I wonder how many people she lost. I wonder how many friends she lost.
Man.
By coming out publicly and stating those things. So, anyway.
I like to see the reverse, though. Like, you see, like, Kathy Griffin, which Kathy Griffin was never an attractive person, but now she's gone from to now she looks like an alien in Area 51. Like, she looks scary.
It's poisonous, dude.
It is, man. But now she went from, and I'm not saying this chick is attractive because her eyes are almost by her ears, but, I mean, she looks a little better than she did. Sorry.
You know, for me, watching that clip, I'm encouraged as well. And obviously, I don't know how many times you guys have had conversations with very liberal, very left people. I used to all the time in Oregon, and my perspective was always like, look, I don't agree with what you're saying. I don't respect what you're saying, but you know, I'm not gonna argue with you because you know we're all, when it comes down to it, we're all here and we live in a great country where we're all given the right to have our own free will, free speech. You know, that's the beauty of this country. We can agree to disagree, but you know, at the same time, I know that my conservative friends and families, we're not gonna sit there and cry whenever you have a disagreement with us, like the left does. They just freak out about what the Conservative Party stands for, and it's just very, very positive for me to see somebody who's seen the rhetoric and saying, you know what, enough of that. I'm going more towards this because my heart is telling me that I am aligning more with the Conservative Party, which is great to see.
I love it. Mm-hmm. I love it. And you know as well as anybody, having lived in Portland, you know. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. All right, Tony. On that note, man, it's been great just kind of sitting outside, chilling, hanging out with you boys.
Yeah, I see that, man. I'm jealous of you. Look at you. You're over there just hanging with nature.
Yeah, I'm out here in the Texas Hill Country, man. It's gorgeous. There's like everything out here is designed to kill you, but I like it out here. I got to fix this camera, though, so it quits going in and out on the dark light, but whatever, man. You know what? I got to give a shout-out to Elon. If you guys don't have a Starlink, get one. Get one. You get the Starlink. I got a Starlink Mini out here, and let me tell you something. Lightning fast. And I love my Starlink, dude. A little subscription every month. It's fantastic. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com. Use promo code Dear America as well. Text Graham to 989898. Talks to the folks over at Birch Gold. But welcome to the Dear America family. Allfamilypharmacy.com. The promo code, get used to hearing it, Dear America. Go over there. I'm going to do, in fact, it's time for me to restock on Ivermectin. As soon as we're done here today, I'm going to place some orders on a few different things with All Family Pharmacy. Tony, why don't you pray us out, my brother?
Yes, sir. Father, thank you so much for keeping us all safe, keeping us all just healthy here with these gentlemen here that I come to work with every day. For all the people in the chat, I know that we all are dealing with different things throughout our lives, and we know that you have a plan for all of us. We know that life comes with its own challenges, as we've seen. But I want to say I thank you so much for giving us breath in our lungs, giving us the life that your son sacrificed himself for and died on the cross for, so we can live this wonderful and beautiful life. And I just ask for your blessing and your guidance throughout the day to keep us all safe and keep us with our family, and just remember the good things and not the negative things in our lives, because life's short, life is great. And I thank you for everything you have given us all. And on that note, just amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Past and amen.
Prayers with applause. We got any super chats to jump on today?
Yeah, we do. Let's see them.
What you got?
All right, ex-wife. My feelings aren't facts, to quote, or feelings aren't facts, to quote my pastor. Yep,
that's a fact.
That is a fact. That is a fact. Sheila May, please pray for Danny in Tyler, Texas, whose shed blew down from the storm. If anyone lives close, please help. Prayers to you, Danny in Tyler, Texas.
Yeah, Some weird weather going on.
It really is.
Right now. Yeah.
Jeff Wallace, here's some morning encouragement. I spent the weekend at a high school leadership retreat and saw incredible God-focused young leaders. The future is bright. There's still so much hope ahead. Amen.
That's great.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Kimberly, what do you guys think about mental health? I think it's real. I do. I can tell y'all, somebody who struggles with PTSD, who is on medication, who has been to therapy multiple times, it's something that can be overcome. But you got to want it. Like, you got to want to do it. So I'm a firm believer in it.
Yeah, and follow my guy, my friend and therapist on Instagram, the Angry Viking Therapist, especially for you guys out there. Go check out Trevor Wilkins. He's my buddy, Dr. Trevor Wilkins, Angry Viking Therapist. He's a good dude.
Because I take the strong stuff.
Yeah,
Bartello, JD's heckler is Mary Lupin from Rochester, New York. Look her up. He described her perfectly without even knowing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Redneck chickie, stay strapped or get clapped. Amen, sister girl.
Wow.
That's an old school saying right there. Tyler Housley, stay strapped or get clapped. George Washington, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. I love my favorite George Washington quote: "Bring more ammo." I think we still got some of those over at prathertees.com. Go check it out.
Alicia Victoria, fiance just started taking me out shooting so I can protect myself when he's not here, just to get past flinching from the sound. It'll come. That'll come. It'll come. T. Shettle, as an NRA instructor, I can say that you are only as good as your training. Teach your kids about firearm safety while they're young, so you remove the mystique before someone else does.
Yeah,
100% accurate.
You know what's surprising
statement.
to me with all this firearm talk? I saw the other day. I don't know why. This is just ironic that more people die of deaths from 22 long rifles than they do with 45. You know,
they're cheaper.
All that. Yeah, they're cheaper. And for all you ladies who are afraid of the sound or afraid of the recoil or whatnot, a 22 is very easy to shoot, even for plinking. You know, it's very easy to shoot.
I keep a suppressed 22. It's like a staple gun right over my toilet in my master bathroom.
Yeah, it's and you know, that's what I started my daughters on. You know, I started taking them off plinking with the 22, and it's very easy to shoot and not a lot of recoil. Just FYI. So.
Yeah, and just let me tell you, and I'm sure the NRA instructor will agree with me here. It's so much more of pointing a gun at somebody than actually pulling the trigger. Like 99.9% of the time, if you point a gun at an intruder or somebody, they're going to stop in their tracks. That's why I tell, like, the ladies that are widows or single moms or whatever, get a shotgun. That's all somebody needs to hear is the and they're going to stop in their tracks.
Right. Get you a tactical. Don't pull nothing out unless you're ready to use it.
Yeah, and that's true. That's how you get killed. Caddy Highlander, I trained my wife for when she's out alone to always carry. Told her better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, especially with her having cerebral palsy on her left side.
That's my motto, dude. Always, man. Better to have it not needed than need not have it.
Yep. NZAB09 agree about pushing back here in New York City. They do not prosecute real criminals. Property damage will not take a second look at it. They barely went after BLM 2020 people. It's frustrating as a cop. I believe it. I've got a friend of mine right now whose name is literally Christian Spears, who is an NYPD officer. And I hear horror stories about that kind of stuff all the time. God bless you, Christian. You do a great job, buddy. DJ Vandy, I own a small holster business, and I can't stress enough to customers, people to carry. It's better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. Royce, how's them hemorrhoids? Well, he's not here today. He's not here today, if that tells you anything.
He traveled. He's on the road, so he'll be back.
Alicia Victoria, did you guys catch Newsom Kirk interview? Seeing as Newsom has all this free time, would any of you guys sit down and interview with him? I would. I'd love to sit down with Newsifer.
I'll tell you this. I would go on his show, but I wouldn't have him on mine.
Yeah, I agree with that statement.
I'm not, because I know his angle. I know what he's trying to accomplish, and I'm not giving him a platform.
There you go. 520 homegirl. Did y'all change the clock again? I thought I was on time. Ha ha.
We all did, but we didn't tell you.
Yeah, they did. Sorry, you want to talk about messing you up, man? That messed me up Sunday.
I forgot to throw those pictures. She sent me, a homegirl sent me some pictures. I sent her a package with the hoodie and some T-shirts and from Dear America. She's the one that gave us that $400 donation, so I sent her a little package for that. And she sent me some pictures. I completely forgot. It's in my email. I'll throw it up so the Mr. Producer can show it.
You need to make sure that you explain that statement when
I
you
just
say
did.
she
I literally just did.
All right. Okay. Appetizer. Prayers for me. 3 ERs since Saturday. No heart problem. Been up 28 hours now. 4 appointments. One's for a biopsy for the cancer word. Never trust a doctor that says, I don't know. Find me one, but please pray. Absolutely. Prayers. Degenerate. I carry a Smith & Wesson M&P 40 cal at all times. I love a shield.
Yeah, that's a great gun.
Is that it? All right, that's it.
All right, boys. Well, good times.
Good times. Yep. Good show.
Good times. I'll be back around 2. Todd will be back around 3. And Maggie Moo will be on this evening at 7:30. Don't forget our friend Brianna Morello. Brianna is another one who will probably have some more information on Jamie White and the murder situation. She's following that closely, as well as she's closely connected to them. So y'all keep up with what Brianna Morello has to say on that. I actually found out about Jamie yesterday from Brianna. So, yeah, pay attention to what she's got. All right, guys, any final words, anything we need to say? Tony?
Kiloho just wrote in, my shotgun has rock salt in it.
Ooh.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that either.
That's something. No, everybody, have a great blessed day, and hasta mañana.
All right. So y'all have asked me to do 2 things this show, and I'm going to do them both for you. Here comes one.
Oh, my God!
And number 2, remember, stay awake, not woke, trust in God, not the government, and as always, stay free.
Nice.
Yeah, there's something not right about that scream. I mean, that is just not natural.
It's not.
Just not natural.
It's not.
All right, for Tony and Todd, for Graham, and for the absent Royce, my name is Chad Prather. You can find me at watchchad.com for my live show schedule. I will be in Springfield, Missouri for 3 nights next weekend. Get your tickets at watchchad.com. Come find me. Don't forget, hit like, hit subscribe, share this episode, and go to where podcasts are offered. And hit play, walk away, but let it play. Let it play. And also give us a 5-star rating. It's what we deserve. And give us that review on Dear America. I love you guys. I will see you this afternoon. We will talk to you then. God bless you. Bye.